Could the Chicago Bears benefit from Tom Brady's retirement? Let's talk about it. Listen, you rocking with the pettiest one, Breeze Nation. But who cares? Let's talk about Tom Brady and how he benefits the Chicago Bears. Listen, first off, heck of a career. Let's take a moment to step back and just say, hey, thank you, Tom. Thank you for 20 plus years of just dominance, growth. There's a lot of people who hated on Tom, things of that nature. I was one of them at one point. When I was young, it was cool to hate the Patriots just because they won so much. But then as I got older, I started to really appreciate not only the system they built, but just Tom as an individual athlete, as an individual QB, his story and how he went from pretty much last in the draft, game manager, to being one of the most dominant QBs that the league has ever seen, and putting up 7 of them things. That's 7 of them things, 7 out of 10. So he got it done with and without Bill Belichick. And so that goes to show you that, that type of competitive drive and fire, man, I just hope to have a glimpse, a small iota of what that drive is. And I know that I'd be dominant in whatever I do, because that is unparalleled. I mean, that's beyond Jordan level at that point. Different sport. But I mean, now we may have to start talking about being the Tom Brady of a particular sport when you talk about dominance, because he did it for so long and he won. It wasn't just racking up stats. It wasn't just, breaking individual records, but he got it done. He won. And that's what's important. They do it for the rings, nothing else. With that being said, thank you. But considering that situation, how does that impact the Bucs? And what situation does that leave them in? And how could that ultimately be something that Ryan Poles could capitalize with when it comes down to how we're trying to revitalize and reshape our team? Well, I put it to you this way. The Bucs are now in a very peculiar situation, because after coming off one of the, let's just say that it didn't end like they wanted it to. It's a hilarious loss. Not necessary, not nowhere near Tom Brady level of play. So it's pretty fitting that he calls it a day. They also lost Brian Leftwich, who they fired, and they also have one of the worst cap space situations in the league, according to some reports. And after looking at it, they are in some type of situation. And so now, when you come and you look at it, when you look at all the different teams that are in a situation where they need to kind of rebuild, retool, something like that, nothing screams help me more than the Buccaneers at this particular point, because they have no one that I haven't heard anything about their backup QB. They have a bunch of individuals there who I'm pretty sure don't want to go through a rebuild. And one of those individuals is actually Mike Evans. Now, a trade for Mike Evans will actually be something that I don't know how that actual money works. I believe Bucs will save around $15 million in cap space if they were able to unload him and make a trade and trade him. So I know that they're in a situation where if they need to clear some cap space and things of that nature, it works for them from a financial standpoint. But what does it do for us? Well, it gives us a solidified WR1, because I mean, at this point, we do need the help. Now, Chase Claypool was a good addition. Considering what that pick turned into, maybe we went too high. And considering that Ryan Poles had the opportunity to go and get a good receiver with, George Pickens and stuff like that, it's good to see that he understands that, yeah, I probably messed that one up. So this will be something that's not a, should we? We have to. With the reports of us now committing to Justin Fields, that's something that just recently came out as of 2 days ago. Now, we had heard it before and things of that nature, but we also heard that, the situation for the Bears was really just too good to be true. We could reset the QB clock. We could draft young. We can really build this team from the ground up. Poles gets someone that he actually drafts. He didn't draft Justin Fields. So it gives him an opportunity to sit there and evaluate a QB the way that he would want to evaluate a QB and not be against the clock. Again, there is a clock. Justin Fields, the contract conversation with Justin Fields is going to come up sooner than later, and we haven't put a team around him. They've seen what he's done without talent, so they do want to have the opportunity to see what he can do with talent. But with that being said, we got to stop drafting defense first, and we got to start putting some people around this kid. Now, we do have 35 million more cap space available for us to throw some money around. And if we are going to trade that first round pick, the number one pick, excuse me, then we will have other things and other assets to sit there and build this team out. The question is, are we going to do it? Now, considering that we do need really, really, really bad help at the receiver position, I think this is one of those no-brainers. We honestly, even if it doesn't happen, because, the Bucks can get a different offer from someone, there are other teams that do need help from the receiver at the receiver position. But I think we just have too much to offer for us not to, from a compensation standpoint and from a pick standpoint. We just have too much to offer. So what I would like to hear is us go all in on getting him. Now, there are some risks with that. Mike Evans is a little older. In fact, let me make sure. I didn't want to do this on the video, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you something appropriate, because I don't want to say, oh, he's old. He ain't old, right? So at this rate, come on, Mike, give it to me. At this rate, we're looking at someone who's been in the league close to a decade at this point. It's been to a Pro Bowl selection 4 out of the, let's say, 9 seasons. I could be a little off on that one, maybe 10. We know what he does. It's like the Kevin Durant. We know who he is. Mike Evans gets it done. Mike Evans has not had a receiving a season under 1,000 yards in his entire career, realistically. And so at this point, we know who he is. And he's way better than any of the receivers that we have. He'll be a great addition. He'd be a veteran who can help Justin. You can help him on the fly. We just know what he does, and he brings a lot there. With that being the case, what is Pose going to do? Pose has been committed to building through the draft and things of that nature. We know that he's not afraid to pull a trigger to go get someone, i.e. Chase Claypool. But will we be able to get this done is the question. And that's the one thing that I want to sit there and have you all answer with me. Get in the chat. Let me know, because, there are a couple of people out there that we ultimately need to sit there and really consider to really give Justin the help that he needs. Again, it is not about whether or not we like the individual. It's not about whether we like if it's hate against Justin and things of that nature. Situations and context matter. So if we're going to sit there and commit to Justin, get him the help. If we're not going to get him the help, if we're going to sit there and do what we've always done, build this defense, do that, stuff like that. I understand that we have to shore up both sides of the ball. But guess what? Both sides. Justin doesn't play defense. We need help on the offensive end to make sure that we can do what we need to do to stay in games, not just rely on our defense. The Chicago Bears have been a defensive team my entire life. And guess what? It's gotten us close maybe once. We've had a handful of good seasons where we can actually, tip our cap to. We need to do the right thing for evaluating our young QB if you're going to give him a real shot and commit to him. So I'm hoping that Ryan Poles sees this. The rumors are already out there. The rumors, of course, if, we're talking about it, Ryan obviously is talking about it. I'm pretty sure that as soon as he heard Tom was retiring, that phone was already picked up. But, again, we've seen other things. He's kind of, for me, Pose is like, I give Pose a C. I like what he's done with some of the young picks, but that fiasco that he did with all those random names at the receiving helm for us, no. Absolutely not. So, it's one of those things where Ryan is coming into his first season, going into his second season. He's done a great job unloading money, getting us in this position. Now it's about what you do with it. And I think if we don't even hear reports of us being aggressive to go after Mike Evans, I think that's a huge fail. I think that's a huge fail. It would be it would be a disservice to himself, Ryan. It'd be a disservice to Justin Fields. It'd be a disservice to the fans. At the very least, even if we can't make it happen, to know that we tried goes a long way for this fan base, because it's something that we haven't had. It's something that we haven't had to see someone who knows who our flaws are. They're readily trying to address them. We're a blue collar town. We want to see the effort. Like, if you can put forth that effort to make this team better, hey, we'll rock with you. You know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least let us know. Give us that feeling. So we have something to root for. It's a lot of change going on. It's a lot of new things, but this absolutely would help a long way. Now, it won't be cheap. It won't be cheap. And he is going to, I mean, he could be a free agent. And this is not, excuse me, take a step back. It's not could. He does have, 1 year left on that particular contract, I do believe. So he could still become a free agent and just totally walk away. So it's like, hey, what is the cost to get him? How much are we giving away? Is he going to commit to us long term? What does that pretty much look like? Because again, we are not rebuilding, but we are building. I don't want to use the word rebuild because I don't know if we necessarily had the team in the first place when Ryan Poles, first came in. So we're in a situation where, does he wait it out there? Is that even his option? Obviously, the Bucks can trade him, but is that what he wants long term? And so there's a lot of risk that comes on both ends. Again, I'm not sitting here going to say that, hey, we're going to get him, stuff like that. I'm not going to make that a definite because, again, we can't give up considerable compensation for him just to only have him as like a 1-2 year rental. That wouldn't make sense. And that would also put us in a bad situation. But it could be something that's like, hey, let's try this out for a year. If things go well, you like how the team's progressing, let's re-sign, let's get something done. I would love to see something like that. And again, that's all speculations, but it's the reality of the situation. You can't control what someone does in free agency. You can't control what direction they choose to take with their career. It's absolutely his decision. I respect it. Either way, you have to take your career into your own hands. But it would be a great value add for Justin, be a great value add for the Chicago Bears, be a great value add for the city. Let me know what you think, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, get at me in the comments. Get back at you. Come on.